Mel, let's start with the number one pick. It has not changed, and that is the Bengals opting for Joe Burrow.
Yeah, the best player, you can make an argument. You can say at worst the number 2 player on the big board behind Chase Young from Ohio State, their outstanding defensive end. This is where it all begins and ends at quarterback. Everybody wants him. Everybody needs him. You have to have him in this division. Certainly with Baker Mayfield, and you think about Lamar Jackson, and Pittsburgh's going to figure it out even after Big Ben moves on, and he's still there with the Steelers. And I think when you look at the Bengals, you got to take Joe Burrow. There's really no other option except to take a quarterback who had the kind of year he did with no hiccups, no missteps. Tua with the injuries, not in the discussion. Joe Burrow has to be the selection.
So, Mel, in your opinion, it's still a unanimous decision?
Yes, I don't think there's any question about it. I think if Chase Young would have finished strong and not had those 3 quiet games, he may have figured in. If Burrow would have had a hiccup, maybe you would have thought about trading out of that pick. But with the Burrow year he had from start to finish and showing up big in the most important games, the biggest stage, I think the Bengals have no choice but to take Joe Burrow. Even if you get an offer, you better be bowled over by an unbelievable offer to pass on a quarterback who had the kind of year he did.
All right, from one quarterback to another, we'll go to Tim Hasselbeck. And Tim, any chance there is a change here? Does anything about this worry you?
No, I mean, listen, I think it's legitimate in the evaluation process to say, wow, okay, 2018 looked very different than this remarkable 2019 year. But with that being said, 2019 was so incredible, so record-setting. You know, Mel talked about, critical moments in his play and critical moments. You look at some of the throws in terms of ball location. You look at his ability to create offense, his ability to also play on time, anticipation. And then I also think in terms of, some of the questions he probably answered in terms of physical ability, I don't think that there's anything to change the fact that Joe Burrow should be the number 1 overall pick.
Yeah, and I think I would agree with what you guys are saying. And this is not like other years. I believe that this draft really starts at pick number 3. I mean, essentially, you could just write down Joe Burrow, Chase Young as picks 1 and 2, put those names on the cards. You're going to hear a lot of people talking this week and really in the weeks to come about how that's not the case. But that is the case. Those are the first 2 picks. And Joe Burrow, I think, solidified his spot as the number 1 pick overall by a couple of ways. Number 1, staying healthy. Number 2, playing at such a high level, like Mel alluded to, in the biggest games. And don't think that it didn't matter. His speech at the Heisman, talking about the impact of his hometown, his community in Ohio. Don't think that that didn't matter to the people of Ohio. I think this is the perfect quarterback for them to set their future for the long term. And maybe, just maybe, if I'm Joe Burrow, I would hope that Andy Dalton is there on that team this whole first year, much the way that Alex Smith was for Patrick Mahomes. I think that would be a great thing for his career moving forward.
This is an easy pick for the Bengals. It's a no-brainer, Joe Burrow. The reality is what Joe Burrow does great are all the really important things of the quarterback position that we don't talk about enough. No, he's not going to be the 6'6", 240-pound, 300-pound bench presser with running a 4.4 and a laser rocket arm, but he's got outstanding instincts. I'm talking outstanding instincts in reactionary football. The different types of throws. Like, everyone always says he can make all the throws. Don't care about that. Make the right throw at the right moment. And Burrow does that all the time. You can go through stretches of games with Joe Burrow and see, it's almost Russell Wilson-like. See the difference of yardage that he makes up for, meaning he'll take an 8-yard sack and turn it into like a 12-yard gain. And it's not just a 12-yard gain. It's a difference of 20 yards. And so the amount of times that we watched Joe Burrow do that this past year was remarkable. And so he's the no-brainer number 1 pick.
60 touchdown passes last season, guys, an FBS single-season record.
Thank you for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.